There's a voice that follows you everywhere you go. It comments on everything you do, every risk you take, every failure that you face. That voice doesn't come from the world, it comes from within. And over time, it shapes what you believe, how you behave, and ultimately, what you become. Your self-talk, that constant inner dialogue that you hold, is the architect of your reality. It determines your confidence, your resilience, and your ability to grow. Today on the Standards of Excellence podcast, we're talking about why self-talk shapes reality. Because before you can change your world, you have to change the words you speak inside it. Self-talk is the most consistent conversation that you will ever have. It's the one that starts the second you wake up and it doesn't stop until the moment you fall asleep. It's the tone you use with yourself when you fail, succeed, or simply exist. Most people never stop listening to it, but that voice, whether encouraging or critical, creates your emotional baseline. The human brain doesn't just respond to experience, it responds to interpretation. If your self-talk is negative, your brain experiences the world as hostile and threatening. If it's constructive, your brain experiences the world as manageable and full of opportunity. In other words, you don't see the world as it is, you see it as you speak it. Let's look at two very simple examples. Two people start a business. Both face the same challenge: slow growth, unexpected cost, and rejection. The first says, "This always happens to me. I can't do this anymore." The second says, "This is tough, but I'm going to use every mistake to learn. Every mistake is data." They experience the same events, but their self-talk creates two completely different realities. The first one sees proof of failure, almost as an "I knew it" moment. The second sees a path to mastery by learning through their mistakes. That difference compounds over time, because your language becomes your lens, and your lens shapes your decisions. Optimistic self-talk doesn't mean delusion. It means interpreting struggle through a lens of progress instead of paralysis. Psychologists call this cognitive framing. Your thoughts act like filters that decide how you experience reality. When you speak to yourself with negativity, "I'm terrible at this, I'll never get there," your brain starts looking for evidence to confirm it. That is called confirmation bias. You subconsciously build a reality that matches your internal narrative. But the opposite is also true. When your self-talk is empowering, "I can learn, I've done hard things before, I'll figure it out," your brain begins scanning for proof of progress. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Your thoughts shape your emotions shape your actions, and your actions shape your outcomes. That chain reaction begins in the language that you use every day. Let's look at it in the real world through professional sports. Elite athletes train their body for years, decades even. But their greatest advantage isn't physical, it's mental. When pressure hits, most athletes don't lose their skill, they lose focus. And focus is controlled by self-talk. Watch any great competitor, tennis players, runners, fighters, and you'll see them talking to themselves out loud, constantly. They'll say things like, "Stay calm, reset, let's go." It's not that they're being dramatic, they're reprogramming their response. That's how they recover from mistakes mid-performance, by using language as the steering wheel. Instead of spiraling after failure, they redirect focus and stay in control. It's not that they don't feel doubt, it's that they don't speak it into dominance. Now think about this in your own life, especially at work. Imagine walking into a presentation thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at public speaking. I'm gonna mess this up." Your body reacts. Handshake, voice tightens, focus fades, and you just turn that thought into a physical reality. Now imagine walking in with saying, "I'm prepared, I've got this, I can connect." Same skill, same slides, same audience, completely different outcome. Self-talk is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain obeys the story that you tell it. That's why confident people seem almost magnetic. They're not necessarily more talented, they've just learned to speak to themselves with authority instead of apology. So how do you change your self-talk, especially if it's been negative for so many years. Here's a framework to reprogram the voice in your head. Step 1 is awareness. Start noticing your language. What do you say when you fail? What do you say when you succeed? What do you say when you're tired? Awareness breaks autopilot. Step 2 is interrupt the pattern. When you catch yourself saying, I can't, pause and reframe. Instead, try saying, I'm learning, or this is how I grow. You're not lying, you're leading your mind to the truth. Step 3 is speak with evidence. If your brain resists positive talk, give it proof. Remind yourself of past wins. If I've done difficult things before. Evidence convinces emotions. Step 4, create a power phrase. Pick a short line that helps center you. Something like calm and capable or one step at a time. Use it when pressure hits. Step 5, practice out loud. The brain believes what it hears most often, especially from your own voice. Speak your affirmations audibly, not silently. You're training your nervous system to respond to strength. Over time, your default tone changes from critic to coach. Here's a personal example of an application of this idea that I've seen in my own life. I had a friend once tell me that he hated running. Every time he put on his shoes, he'd just say things like, I'm not built for this, I'm slow, I'm miserable, this sucks. Then one day, he decided to try an experiment. He changed just one simple line. He started saying, I'm becoming a runner. For the first 2 weeks, he said nothing really felt different, but by the end of the first month, something had actually shifted. He stopped arguing with himself, he started running further. Not because his body changed, but because his language did. 6 months later, he ran his first marathon. Words don't just describe reality, they actually direct it. When your inner voice becomes your ally, not your enemy, everything changes. You stop sabotaging yourself before you start. You stop replaying mistakes after mistakes as evidence of inadequacy. You start using language as leadership, guiding your mind toward truth instead of fear. Because the goal isn't to silence your thoughts, it's to discipline them. Your words become your compass, and over time, they point you toward strength. Because your words don't just describe your world, they design it. So today, choose language that builds you, not breaks you. And remember that the voice in your head sets the tone for the life that you live. Thanks for listening to the Standards of Excellence podcast. If today's message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to change the way they speak to themselves. Until next time, pursue excellence, become your biggest supporter, and make today matter.